In the deep black of space, a silver ship moved slowly toward the center of the galaxy. It was smooth, quiet, and carried Earth's most important message: peace. The ship was called the Horizon, and on board was Ambassador Reyna, Earth's top diplomat. She was calm, strong, and known for her sharp mind. Reyna wore a simple blue suit with the Earth emblem on her chest. She looked out the window as stars passed by, knowing this mission could change everything. The Zarn Alliance had not spoken to Earth in years. Their worlds were older, their weapons stronger, and their people proud. But Earth had grown fast. No longer weak, Earth now had power. Not just in weapons, but in words, ideas, and unity. Reyna believed in peace. She had stopped wars before. She believed she could do it again. Inside the ship, the crew prepared. Captain Jules walked beside Reyna. "Are you sure about this?" he asked. "The Zarn are not known for kindness." Reyna gave a small smile. "They want to test us. Let them. But we will not blink first." As the horizon reached the edge of the Zarn territory, a group of alien ships appeared. They were dark red, shaped like arrows, and very quiet. One ship opened a channel. A voice, cold and sharp, said, "You are not welcome. Turn back." Reyna stepped forward. "I come in peace. Earth wishes to talk. We offer friendship." There was silence. Then, the Zarn answered, "Follow us. Do not leave the path. Any trick, and we fire." The ship followed. The crew stayed alert. No one trusted the Zarn, but Earth had to try. The meeting place was a large station floating above a red planet. It looked old but powerful, with many blinking lights and armed guards everywhere. Reyna walked into the main hall. Her steps were calm. Around her stood leaders of different alien races, tall and strange, with glowing skin, sharp teeth, and watching eyes. At the center sat Lord Vakar, the Zarn leader. His face was cold, his eyes like glass. "Speak," he said. Reyna gave a small bow. "Earth wants peace. We wish to share knowledge, trade, and help each other grow. We do not want war. We only want to be part of the stars." Vakar's lip curled. "Peace? After your kind rushed into the stars like fire? After you built weapons that scan across galaxies? You come with soft words, but your hands are not clean." Reyna stayed calm. "All species grow. All make mistakes. But now we choose to build, not break." The room stayed quiet. Some alien leaders nodded. Others watched with doubt. One leaned close to Vakar and whispered something. Vakar nodded slightly. Then came a sound, a faint click. Reyna turned her head. Too late. A small dart flew through the air, fast and silent. It hit Reyna in the neck. She gasped. Her hand reached for the wound, her eyes filled with shock and pain. She fell to the ground. Chaos exploded. Earth's crew rushed forward. Guards raised weapons. Shouts filled the air. But Reyna was still. Too still. Captain Jules dropped to his knees beside her. "Reyna, stay with us." But her eyes were already dim. Her chest no longer moved. A message was sent to Earth. One line: "Ambassador Reyna is dead, assassinated at the peace table." The Earth Council sat in silence when the news arrived, faces pale, hands shaking. A deep sadness spread across the room. But sadness soon turned to something else: fury. President Amina stood. Her voice was low, but full of steel. "They killed our voice, our hand of peace. They think we are weak. They think we will beg." She looked around the room. "Let them learn who we are." Outside Earth's orbit, warships started to move. Secret teams were called. Old plans opened. Something deep and powerful inside humanity had awakened. They didn't start the fight, but now they would finish it. In the stars, the Zarn celebrated quietly. They thought the humans would back away in fear, but Earth had changed. In the quiet halls of Earth's government, the mood had shifted from shock to determination. The news of Ambassador Reyna's death spread like wildfire, and it struck every heart with a burning anger. The people of Earth had sent a message of peace, and that message was met with a cruel act of violence. But this violence was not the end. It was the beginning of something much bigger. President Amina stood before her council, her eyes shining with a fierce light. "They wanted war," she said quietly, "and now we will give it to them." In a secret room beneath the shining towers of Earth's capital, the leaders gathered to plan their next move. The room was filled with maps of star systems, digital displays of fleets, and faces that looked tired but ready. The codename for the plan was Iron Voice, a voice that would not be soft or peaceful but strong and clear. The team was small, but powerful. Soldiers trained in space combat, hackers who could break any system, spies who could blend into any crowd, and scientists with secret weapons. Captain Jules was called back from the Horizon mission. He stood tall before the council, his uniform marked with medals earned in past battles. "We cannot let this act go unanswered," he said. "The Zarn believe we are weak, that we will only speak and never fight. They are wrong." On Earth, the people watched the news with mixed feelings. Some feared a war that could destroy everything. Others felt pride and hope. The idea of peace was beautiful, but they knew the universe was not always kind. They had to be ready. Meanwhile, the special team prepared quietly. They trained day and night, learning new tactics and testing powerful new machines. One of their secret weapons was an AI drone called Ghost. It was small, fast, and almost invisible. Ghost did not carry bombs or guns. Instead, it could sneak inside enemy ships and disable them quietly, without killing anyone. It was a way to show power without losing control. As the Horizon had been attacked, a new ship was built, the Resolute. It was larger, faster, and equipped with the best technology Earth had ever made. The Resolute was not just a ship, it was a symbol, a warning to the Zarn that Earth was no longer the weak planet they had known. One cold morning, the Resolute left Earth's orbit. On board was Captain Jules, leading the special team. The crew included engineers, soldiers, and Ghost itself, hidden in a small capsule, ready to move. As the ship passed the blue glow of Earth behind them, there was no turning back. The journey to the Zarn's territory was tense. Everyone knew the risks. Every sound, every signal could mean danger. But the humans stayed calm, their minds focused on the mission, to protect Earth, to show strength, and maybe to save peace by force if they must. When the Resolute reached the outer edges of the Zarn space, a patrol of alien ships appeared. The dark red shapes glided through the stars, scanning for threats. But this time, the humans were ready. The Resolute did not send a message of peace. Instead, it moved quickly and silently. Ghost was launched first. It slipped into the shadows of the alien fleet, unseen and unheard. Inside the enemy ships, Ghost moved like a shadow, shutting down engines and weapons systems. No alarms, no panic, just silence. The Zarn were confused. Their powerful ships lost control one by one. They could not understand who or what was attacking. Was this a new weapon? A new species, or something worse? On the Resolute, Captain Jules watched the monitors closely. "Ghost is doing its job," he said. "But this is only the beginning. They need to understand. We do not want war, but we are ready." Back on Earth, the people followed the news, fear mixed with hope. Was this the start of a war or a warning strong enough to stop one? Not all Zarn leaders agreed with the attack on Reyna. Some wanted peace. Others whispered about betrayal and spies inside their own ranks. A secret message was discovered hidden, inside Ghost's systems. A message from someone inside the Zarn Alliance working with Earth. This spy wanted to stop the war before it started. Captain Jules and his team knew they had to find this spy and protect them. A rescue mission was planned in secret, deep inside a Zarn starbase filled with dangers. The traitor could be the key to saving millions of lives, but the spy was not what anyone expected. It was someone from Earth, believed dead long ago, who had been living in the shadows for years. Their return shocked everyone and made the mission even more dangerous. As the rescue began, the war hung in the balance. The lines between friend and enemy blurred, and the future of both Earth and the Zarn rested on the choices made in those dark, quiet moments. The humans showed something no one expected, not just weapons or strength, but courage, hope, and a fierce will to protect their home. The Zarn had made their first mistake by killing a peaceful envoy. Now, Earth's answer would be louder than any gunfire. The darkness of space was heavy as the Resolute and its crew moved deeper into Zarn territory. Captain Jules and his team were tense but focused. Their secret weapon, Ghost, was more than just a machine. It was a symbol of Earth's new power. Small and nearly invisible, Ghost could enter enemy ships without warning. It did not destroy with fire or explosions, but with silence and precision. This was a weapon designed to warn and to save lives. As Ghost slipped away from the Resolute, it became a ghost in the stars, unseen by radar, unheard by enemy crews. Its mission was clear: disable the Zarn ships quietly, stopping their weapons and engines so no one would die unless the Zarn forced a battle. The hope was to show strength without cruelty. Inside the dark hulls of the Zarn fleet, crews went about their usual business. They were confident, believing their weapons and numbers would keep Earth's forces far away. But then, one by one, the lights on their ships began to flicker. Engines lost power. Weapons went silent. The ships drifted like empty shells in space. Panic spread among the Zarn crews. They tried to find the cause, but Ghost was already inside their systems, moving faster than any alarm. It shut down navigation controls and locked doors, trapping soldiers inside their own ships. No one knew where the attack was coming from. Back on the Resolute, Captain Jules watched the battle through screens. His face was calm but determined. Ghost is working perfectly. This is the message. Earth can strike without bloodshed, but we will fight if we must. The Zarn leader, Lord Vakar, was furious. He called his generals and shouted orders. Find this weapon. Destroy it before it destroys us all. The hunt for Ghost became desperate. The Zarn unleashed their fastest ships, scanning every signal, but Ghost was always one step ahead. It was a game of cat and mouse in the cold vacuum of space. Meanwhile, the humans on the Resolute prepared for what might come next. They knew Ghost could not stop all attacks forever. The Zarn might grow angry and dangerous, but for now, the silence was enough to confuse and frighten the enemy. On the Zarn homeworld, the people whispered, "Who controls this weapon? How can Earth do this without firing a single shot?" Some began to question their leaders. Some wondered if peace was still possible, but others were angry and wanted revenge. The rogue Zarn leader, who hated humans the most, began planning a new attack. He did not want peace. He wanted war. Captain Jules knew the danger was growing. "We have shown them what we can do," he said. "Now we must be ready for whatever comes next." Then, the unexpected happened. A hidden message was found inside Ghost's systems. It was a secret code from a traitor inside the Zarn Alliance. This traitor had been working with Earth to stop the war before it could start. The message was a warning, a plea for help. Earth's leaders were shocked. "We have an ally inside their ranks," President Amina said. "We must protect them." The rescue mission was set. Captain Jules and his team would go to the starbase where the traitor was held captive. The mission was dangerous, deep inside enemy space, surrounded by guards and weapons. But if they failed, the chance for peace might be lost forever. As the team prepared, more secrets came to light. The traitor was not who anyone expected. It was someone from Earth, believed dead many years ago, who had been living hidden among the stars. Their return changed everything. Trust was fragile, and the future uncertain. In the quiet moments before the rescue, Captain Jules looked at the stars and thought of Ambassador Reyna. Her death had sparked this fight, but it had also shown the strength of humanity. They were no longer just survivors. They were warriors of peace. Ghost remained silent and ready, waiting to move again. The battle was not over. The universe watched, waiting to see if the humans would bring war or peace. This was the test. The silent weapon had spoken, and now the story of Earth's courage was being written in the stars. The rescue mission was one of the most dangerous plans Earth had ever made. Deep inside Zarn space, hidden within a heavily guarded starbase, the traitor was held captive. This traitor was not just anyone. He was someone thought lost to history, a human believed dead, living undercover among the stars for years. His name was Elias Kane, a former Earth soldier who had vanished during an earlier conflict. Now, he held secrets that could change the fate of the entire galaxy. Captain Jules and his team prepared carefully. Every step, every choice could mean life or death. The starbase was surrounded by thick shields and guarded by the strongest Zarn, soldiers. The team had to be silent and smart. Any mistake could trigger a full attack. Inside the dark corridors of the starbase, Elias waited. He was tired but hopeful. He had sent the secret message inside the Ghost AI to Earth, risking everything, to stop a war he did not want. His capture was a disaster, but he believed Earth would come for him. Jules and the rescue team arrived near the starbase in a small stealth shuttle. Their plan was simple but risky: sneak inside, find Elias, and escape before the Zarn could react. The shuttle's engines were quiet, its lights dimmed to almost nothing. They moved through the shadow of a giant asteroid, avoiding patrol ships. Inside the starbase, alarms suddenly began to ring. One of the Zarn soldiers spotted the shuttle's entry point. The rescue mission had begun faster than expected. Jules raised his hand. "Move fast! Stay low!" he ordered. "We have no time!" The team moved through twisting halls filled with cold metal and strange alien symbols. Every corner held danger: guards, cameras, traps. But the humans were trained for this. They used their skills to hide, to disable alarms, and to stay unseen. Meanwhile, Elias sat in a small cell. His eyes brightened when he heard faint noises nearby. He whispered to himself, "They came for me. Earth didn't forget." When Jules and the team reached Elias's cell, they found it locked with a complex security system. Their hacker, Lila, stepped forward. She worked quickly, her fingers moving over the device. "Almost there," she whispered. With a soft beep, the lock opened. Elias stepped out slowly, weak but determined. "Thank you," he said quietly. "There is much to tell you." As they prepared to leave, the alarms grew louder. Zarn soldiers poured into the halls, weapons ready. The team fought carefully, holding their ground while moving toward the exit. The rescue had become a battle. In the chaos, Elias revealed the truth. The rogue Zarn leader wants war to control the galaxy. Many Zarn do not agree with him. I have proof that can stop him if we can get it back to Earth. Captain Jules nodded. Then we have a mission beyond rescue. We must stop the war before it begins. With Elias and the team back in the shuttle, they escaped the starbase under heavy fire. Explosions lit the dark space behind them. It was a narrow escape, but Earth's team had won this fight. Back on the Resolute, Elias shared the secret plans he had hidden for years. The documents revealed the rogue leader's true intentions, a plan to destroy Earth's colonies and rule the galaxy with fear. The Zarn alliance was divided. Some wanted peace, others wanted power. Captain Jules looked at Elias and then at his crew. "We fight for peace," he said, "but we will not be weak. The rogue leader must be stopped." The news sent shockwaves through Earth's government and the Zarn alliance. The war was no longer certain, but danger was close. In the quiet moments, after the rescue, the humans knew one thing for sure: the battle for peace was far from over. Trust would be tested, allies found, and enemies revealed. And in the stars, the rogue Zarn leader prepared his next move, unaware that Earth's strongest. Voices were already rising. Explosions ripped through the quiet space above Earth's distant colony, Shira 7. The peaceful outpost, built to study new stars and planets, suddenly became a battlefield. Red beams of energy sliced through the air as Zarn warships fired without warning. Alarms blared. People ran for cover, their hearts pounding with fear and confusion. No one expected this. No one wanted it. The rogue Zarn leader, a fierce warrior named Kargath, had grown tired of secret talks and quiet threats. He saw humanity as weak, soft, and full of lies. When Ambassador Reyna was killed, he believed Earth would fall silent. Instead, it grew, louder. Now Kargath wanted to break their spirit with fire and destruction. On Earth, the news of the attack came like a shockwave. The government was quick to respond, but fear filled the hearts of many. Colonies like Shira 7 were far away and vulnerable. President Amina held an emergency meeting. Her voice was steady but full of urgency. "This is an act of war," she said. "We will protect our people and fight back, but we do not want a full war. We want peace, but we will not be weak." Captain Jules stood beside her, ready to lead Earth's fleet. The ships were fewer than the Zarn's, but Earth had something else: strategy, courage, and a new weapon that could change the game. The Resolute and its crew prepared to leave Earth's orbit for the most dangerous battle they had ever faced. As the fleet moved through space, the humans trained and planned. They knew they could not match the Zarn in numbers. Instead, they relied on speed and surprise. Earth's ships moved quietly, avoiding the main fleet, striking where the enemy was weakest. The battle over Shira 7 was fierce. Explosions lit the dark sky as Earth's ships fought bravely. Soldiers in spacesuits boarded damaged Zarn vessels, fighting hand-to-hand to protect their homes. The rogue leader's forces were strong, but the humans were stronger in heart. Amid the chaos, Ghost, the silent AI drone, moved through the battlefield. It was faster than any enemy ship, shutting down weapons and disabling engines without killing. Ghost was a reminder that Earth fought for peace, but was ready for war. Yet, even with all their efforts, Kargath's forces pushed hard. He wanted to crush Earth's spirit and send a message. Humans are weak, and we will destroy them. But the humans fought back harder. Captain Jules sent a message to the Zarn fleet. "We came with peace, but you chose fire. Now, we answer with strength." The tide began to turn when Earth's secret fleet, hidden in the shadows, attacked. These ships were faster and smarter than any the Zarn had seen. Using new tactics, they destroyed enemy supply lines and forced Kargath's forces to retreat. The war had begun, but it was not a battle of numbers. It was a battle of wills. The humans showed the galaxy what it meant to be brave, smart, and united. In the final moments of the battle, Captain Jules received a message. Kargath was hiding on a distant world, planning his next attack. The humans could not allow this. They prepared to follow him to his homeworld, a place full of danger, secrets, and the key to ending the war. As the fleet set course for the Zarn, Leader's planet, the universe watched. The humans had been pushed to their limits, but they had not broken. Their courage was a light in the dark, and their story was far from over. The last mistake was yet to come. The journey to Kargath's homeworld was long and tense. The Resolute led the fleet through dangerous asteroid fields and dark nebulae, places where sensors were weak and enemy ambushes could wait in silence. Captain Jules and his crew stayed alert. Every moment brought them closer to the heart of the enemy, and to a battle that could decide the fate of many worlds. Inside the ship, the crew prepared for war. Soldiers checked their weapons, engineers tuned the ship's engines, and strategists studied maps of the Zarn homeworld. The planet, called Drakkar, was large and covered with sharp mountains and dark oceans. It was a fortress, built to defend against any attack. Elias Kane, the secret agent who had been rescued, sat with Captain Jules. His knowledge of Zarn culture and secrets was their greatest advantage. "Drakkar is more than a home world," Elias said quietly. "It is the heart of Kargath's power. If we fail there, the war is lost." The fleet moved closer. Scouts flew ahead, searching for enemy defenses. The first signs of Zarn power were clear. Orbital cannons, heavy fighter patrols, and large warships guarding the planet. Suddenly, alarms blared. The fleet was under attack. Zarn fighters swarmed the humans, their engines screaming through the dark. The battle began with sharp bursts of light, as lasers and missiles flew between the ships. The Resolute fired back, its shields glowing under heavy fire. Captain Jules shouted orders, moving the fleet in careful formation. "Hold the line! Protect the Resolute!" Ghost was launched again, slipping through the chaos. It moved quickly, toward the biggest Zarn warship, disabling its weapon systems one by one. The humans gained an advantage, but the fight was far from over. As the battle raged above Drakkar, on the planet's surface, Kargath prepared for the final defense. His armies were ready, his warriors fierce and loyal. He knew Earth's fleet would come, and he would meet them with fire. In the command center beneath Drakkar's surface, Kargath watched the battle unfold on massive screens. His face was hard and cold. "They think they can destroy me," he growled. "They will learn their mistake." On the Resolute, Captain Jules made a risky decision. "We must land a strike team on Drakkar to stop Kargath directly. If we take him out, his army will fall apart." The team prepared quickly. Soldiers suited up, weapons ready, hearts steady. They would face dangers unlike any before: sharp mountains, strange creatures, and the enemy's strongest warriors. As they landed, the world around them was dark and strange. The sky was thick with red clouds, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. They moved through narrow canyons and over jagged rocks, careful not to make noise. Elias led the way, his knowledge guiding the team through secret paths. But danger was everywhere. Zarn patrols hunted them, traps waited to catch them, and the land itself seemed alive with threats. After days of travel, the team reached Kargath's fortress, a massive structure built into the mountains. Heavy doors blocked their way, but they had explosives to break through. Inside, the battle grew fierce. Kargath's warriors fought with rage and skill, but the humans pressed on, their courage never fading. Finally, Captain Jules faced Kargath in the heart of the fortress. The two leaders stood face to face, their eyes locked in challenge. The battle was not just of weapons, but of wills. Kargath laughed coldly. "You come so far, human, but you will fail." Jules raised his weapon. "Not while we still breathe. Your war ends here." The fight was long and hard, but in the end, Jules' strength and determination won. Kargath fell. With their leader gone, the Zarn armies on Drakkar began to surrender. The battle was over. Back on the Resolute, the crew watched as peace talks began. The war had cost much, but it had also shown something greater: the power of courage, hope, and unity. Earth had fought not to destroy, but to protect. The stars were watching, and the story of humanity was still being written. The news of Kargath's defeat spread quickly across the galaxy. The once feared rogue leader was gone, and with him, the threat of total war began to fade. Yet, the road to peace was far from simple. The Zarn alliance, fractured and shaken, faced a choice: continue the fight or rebuild for a better future. Back on Earth, the mood was cautious but hopeful. President Amina addressed the people in a live broadcast, her voice steady and strong. "We have won a great battle, but the true victory will be peace. We will work with all who choose peace, even among the Zarn. Our future depends on unity." Captain? Jules and his crew returned as heroes, but their mission had changed. The galaxy was no longer just a place of danger. It was a place of possibility. They now became ambassadors of peace, tasked with building trust where there had been war. Elias. Kane, once a secret agent and traitor, found a new role as a bridge between the two worlds. His knowledge of the Zarn and his loyalty to Earth made him a key figure in the fragile negotiations. Many still doubted him, but over time, his actions earned respect. In the weeks that followed, meetings took place on neutral planets. Delegates, From Earth and the Zarn Alliance gathered to talk, to listen, and to heal wounds. The process was slow, filled with challenges and moments of doubt. Old enemies struggled to trust one another, and new threats tried to take advantage of the tension. But the memory of the war was strong. It reminded everyone that peace was worth fighting for. During one important meeting, a new threat emerged. An unknown group from the outer edges of the galaxy, watching the conflict with interest. These outsiders believed the galaxy should remain divided, weak, and ready for war. Their spies had already infiltrated both sides. Captain Jules and Elias discovered this danger through secret intelligence. They warned the leaders, "We face not only old enemies but new ones. We must stand together, or we will lose everything." The message was clear. Peace required constant vigilance. As talks continued, new alliances formed. Earth shared technology to help rebuild Zarn worlds damaged by war. The Zarn, in return, opened their resources to support Earth's colonies. Slowly, the wounds of battle began to heal. Captain Jules often looked up at the stars and thought about the journey, the battles, the sacrifices and the friendships formed in the darkest times. He knew the future was uncertain, but he believed in humanity's strength to face whatever came next. In the end, the story of Earth and the Zarn was more than a tale of war. It was a story of courage, hope, and the power of peace to change even the hardest hearts. The galaxy was vast, and many challenges still lay ahead, but one truth remained clear. Humans had made their mark, not as conquerors, but as guardians of peace, and the stars would remember.